You don't have to worry about it. So then we got the observation. Now, I want you to tell me what an inference is. Does anybody know what an inference is? Because those words are close.
Kind of like, I think this is what's going to happen.
Absolutely, you nailed it. It doesn't have to be a dictionary definition, and a lot of people confuse those two things, observation and inference. An inference is any conclusion, anything you think is happening because of something else. And then we talk about the terms hypothesis and how that's similar to an inference, that we have to be able to make an inference to make a hypothesis. So we go through some basic vocabulary that's on almost every one of their teaks, and to review them, that should help educators understand that we understand their teaks, that we understand the science. It also should help the kids to kind of give them some background vocabulary so they start becoming familiar with what we're going to do and understand that it is science that we're doing. So once we do that, I will ask kids to make observations based on these two sides of the trailer. I've got two sides of the trailer set up. Can anybody give me some observations based on how I've set up the two sides of the trailer?
One side has grass, one side doesn't.
I am so glad you said that. Do you know that 99% of all my people say that? Let's think about that. I'm going to ask you to make an observation. What is this stuff?
Felt.
It is felt. Is felt grass? No. So did you make an observation or did you make an inference?
Made an inference.
You made an inference that this is a model of grass, which is very important because all of you need to understand that this is a model. And again, I've probably gone through that already. So this is supposed to represent grass. Now, if I had used white felt instead of green felt, would you have inferred that it was grass?
No.
Probably not. But what if I told you I didn't have any green felt, so today the white felt's going to be grass? Would you have accepted that and said, okay? Of course you would. All of you would have. All right, so yes, you were right though in that inference. This is supposed to represent grass. We'll go through a few more observations. And another one that if they don't hit on it that I want them to understand is that I can see the bottom of the stream trailer. And that sometimes they think this is desert or that this is snow, that all this really is, literally, is crushed up plastic. It's actually crushed up buttons used in sandblasting. We use it for the stream trailer. So our observations and our inferences are tied. Now we're going to make a hypothesis. First thing we're going to do is if I turn this water on and water is flowing, I want everybody, and this is an easy one, I want everybody to hypothesize which way is the water going to go. Do you think it's going to go that way, or that way? And most of them are going to say that way. Well,
it's going to go straight down.
Yeah. What? And then people are. Then I say, what force does that do to? Force of gravity, right? Now, if I have this pointed up, is the water going to do that, or is it going to shoot at them? Because they'll laugh and they'll say, "Oh no, it's going to. So it's not going to go towards you." No. Well, what if I do this? And they'll go, "Oh, you can do that." So I want them to to understand that even though it was a very simple hypothesis, and then we test it, that it was still a good hypothesis to make. Then we do one that's a little bit more specific. We talk about erosion. Who knows what erosion is? And usually somebody knows a little bit about erosion, but depending, some of them it's a brand new vocabulary word. But we talk about erosion and we talk about weathering. So one of the little rhymes that they say in Denton is weathering breaks it, erosion takes it, so that they can differentiate between erosion and weathering. So we reinforce that with them, that things like water, wind will break it, that's weathering, and then erosion takes it as it moves with the force of gravity going wherever it's going. So then we're going to make another hypothesis. Which side do you think is going to erode faster, this side or this side? So everybody point which side you think is going to erode fastest. Okay, and we'll test it. I don't have any water, but this side erodes faster because the grass has roots and the roots hold it in. Now, a little bit of erosion will take place. Plants do not stop erosion, they just slow it down. So that's another point we make. So we'll do that hypothesis, we'll do that test, and if we keep it running, we're going to get a couple of different things. One is that at the very beginning, I asked them to notice, and if we had water today, that we could do this, but we don't, that it's a relatively straight line going down. But water does not travel in a straight line. Water meanders, water twists and turns. And the reason for that is because it comes out at such force here, it's going to hit here, bounce here, hit here, bounce here, and over time it erodes. Because the stream trailer will do that in a matter of seconds and minutes, you actually get a winding stream. Toward the bottom here, as erosion takes place, as all of this is eroding away, again, weathering breaks it, erosion takes it, what you get is the water carrying this down, force of gravity carrying this down, and what you end up getting is all the stuff that eroded up here being deposited along the way. And that's a vocabulary word. That's another vocabulary word for the state of Texas. It's the word deposition. So I have everybody say deposit. When you deposit something, you set it down. Deposition is the same thing. It's the depositing of all that eroded material. And it tends to happen in this kind of triangular shape, right, like that. Triangular shape that we call a delta. You're going to get lots of little streams down here as a result of the delta forming. So then we can talk about Mississippi River Delta. We can talk about what people do in order, for example, houses are built in the delta. I ask kids when the water would be flowing, I ask kids, would we build our house right here? No. Well, what could we do to keep a house safe in the delta? Most of them have seen either at the coast or in books or have been there themselves, houses on stilts. So most of them will come up with that answer on their own. Very few times are you going to have to tell the kids the answers to any of your questions. If you ask them to look, observe, and infer, they will hypothesize and conclude as a group almost always. And then all you have to do as the demonstrator is slight corrections. So as the demonstrator, you're giving them information that the teachers have asked that we give. And as teachers, they're getting support from us, and the kids get a visual. And this is extremely engaging when the water's running, because I make sure I put some animals close enough that they fall in. We can also talk about fossil formation as they get covered up. We can talk about home for other animals, that things that fall in, like trees, can become habitat for other animals. We can, depending on the level, you can talk about the fast side of the stream and the slow side of the stream too. Both sides of the stream have two different kinds of fish living on them, depending on whether it's like fast water or slow water. So the possibilities for teaching erosion, deposition, meander, and that force of water, which is one of the forces of nature that they talk about in weathering, is an important thing that the stream trailer can, within 20 minutes, demonstrate and give everyone an engaging and fulfilling day as a supplement to any curriculum that they've got that will fit. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Sorry, didn't know I was being